what's up, everybody? Y'all, I know y'all judging us. But look here. It's 2021. It's a lot of stuff going on. Like, the people is busy. There's so much stuff going on. You know, there's a new president. Khloe Kardashian's trying to take down photos. Like, there's a lot going on. And we're just trying to live in all that stuff. So I know y'all looking at us like these bitches.
We're doing our best.
I know y'all looking at us like these bitches. Okay, but hey, y'all.
Hey.
No time. Well, let me stop. I don't know. This around. My bad, y'all. No time. You look good. Y'all look good. Is that a new computer you watching us on? Did you get a new phone? Hey,
You
y'all.
got yourself a webcam and everything.
Yeah, you look good from the other side. Y'all look so good. Thank you for tuning in. Ooh, what's that in the background? Y'all look so good. But what's up, y'all? It's BusyBlu, and I am here with nobody but BB in the corner. And we are here to recap, review, and rant about Married at First Sight, episode 12 and 13. It's been so good to watch these episodes. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. What's up, Black Lavender? I was just talking to Black Lavender today on DD's channel. Y'all make sure y'all go follow DD. I'm gonna put it. I put it in my community section. Y'all go follow. Was it DD's channel? Or was Black Lavender over there on Nikki Starr's channel? You know, all I do is watch YouTube. I don't do TV no more. But what's up? Hey, what's up, HU?
You know.
Hey, man. Okay. And
hey, Cameron.
We got Trey here. So y'all. Oh, I don't know. Skipped over Evelyn's. Glad to see you, but we're glad to see you too.
Glad to be in the service one more time. Glad to be in the service.
Oh, I need a cocktail.
You don't know that one, see. I was about to say you don't know that one, but you look at you showing that you don't know that one. We're reaching for a cocktail. Wow.
I started clapping and I was like, you know what? Speaking of Jesus and wine, speaking of
you know what really gets me there?
You know what brings me closer to
a cocktail.
A cocktail.
He did turn that water into that wine, okay?
He sure did. And he hung out with the hoes, okay? Jesus knew what was up.
He did. He did flip them tables. You know, flipping them tables was my favorite.
How dare you?
I do love wine, but Jesus like a shake.
Who without sin?
Flip that table.
Don't better. How dare y'all in here?
Because I don't like that.
Okay, who was sleeping with her? Okay, let's start there. If all y'all gonna have a problem with her, who was sleeping with her?
Let's go. Raise your hand.
Raise your hand. Yo, BB, how are you? You looking good. Come on, Howard. Sweat. I feel like I should put something on.
No, I live in this sweatshirt. Like I need to wash it. You know, I'm still working from home all the time, so I just don't get dressed anymore. Like I just don't. It's terrible. But this is my cuffy sweater. I'm great.
Y'all see this? Somebody wrote me and was like, I don't think she likes doing the videos with you because she yawns every time. And
I'm always.
It don't matter what time.
It doesn't matter what time. I'm sleepy all the time. I can always go to sleep. Okay. So it's not. Please don't take that personally, because this is the highlight of my week. But I just be sleepy all the time.
She know I love her. I'll come over to her house when she sleep. It don't matter.
He literally has like ruined my little couch. Now I'm in my pajamas on the couch and I'm just chilling. He's like, "Hey, we should go out," and I'm like, "No." So what?
Is she asleep? Let's go to the campus.
No, I don't want to do that. See, me, I was rewatching season one of Glee. Okay.
I was just talking about DD. She sure was, and I said I don't like these.
I love Glee. The first
so let's go to the campus.
I will rewatch until Jesus returns. Okay. Brilliant.
We were just watching me and Teddy, we were just watching it was like 20 of the top like musical songs, and they're like the most difficult to hit, and Defying Gravity was on there.
Don't make top 20.
It made top. Well, no, it wasn't number 20, but it was like I think that was like it was in the top 10. for sure. It was in the top 10 for sure.
I don't know. I definitely got harder songs on my list, but okay.
I can't remember. Well, I think the number one song was a Kristen Chenoweth song, and or was it the Phantom of the
No,
Opera?
number one got to be "And I Am Telling You." You have to.
That was number 6.
6.
It was number 6. It was number 6.
I almost had an accident on myself trying to get "And I'm Telling You" out of my. What?
It was number 6. It was number 6. But then
because I need to know.
When I heard that, when I was listening to the other songs, I was like, well, okay, well, the girl did do
this
it.
This is top 20 from Glee or top 20?
No, just a musical.
Okay. Top 20 musical numbers, like, most difficult musical numbers.
Yes.
Was Satisfied on there?
No, they actually had
this list.
Ships and Guns. Guns and Ships.
No.
Yeah, that wasn't in the top. It wasn't in the top 10.
She do so much of the song by herself. Guns and Ships is an ensemble number, so you got support if you fall off. My girl Angelica
about the experience about like
she out there by herself.
Fast.
And it's so fast.
Well, that's what they said about Guns and Ships. It's like it's so difficult to like get it all out. Now Lafayette did sing fast, he rapped fast.
He did, but he only rapped for like 30 seconds.
Like 40 times.
Okay, because you know what to do is Florida Hamilton. Okay, though.
I still don't know what he says. You gotta get your right hand man back. You know you gotta get your right hand man back.
Oh, I know you gotta put some to the letter, but the sooner the better to get your right hand man back. That part always blows me because he did not have to put that extra part in there, but he just wanted to take our wig straight off. This man said, you know what? They already singing them back into the we don't really need anything, but he said, you know, I'm gonna spice this up.
I still didn't. This
they could have just rallied it up. I know you got to put some thought into the letter, but the sooner the better to get your right hand man back. Mm-hmm. This man is a genius. Protect Lynn at all costs. Okay, I'll fight any of y'all over Lin Manuel Miranda. Okay, off topic. Back kind of on topic.
Yes.
Highlight of my weekend.
Yes.
That Earth, Wind, and Fire and Isley Brothers.
I haven't. Everybody has watched it and said that it was the gift. For. I didn't watch it. I'm waiting for Escape.
No, you can enjoy multiple things in life.
I don't want to.
Okay, well, deny yourself.
It was good.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, my parents are huge Earth, Wind, and Fire fans already. So I grew up on a lot of that music, and I actually didn't know I liked as many Isley Brothers songs as I did. Mm-hmm. Because based on our age, my discovery of Ron Isley was really the Mr. Biggs era, and I didn't like him then because he was greasy and like he gave me the creeps.
Was
right? Which was the point, but it was different if you already knew him as something else, and it was like, oh, it's a character. To me, Ron Isley was like that. Mm-hmm. And it took me a long time to figure out that was just a little era that he was playing along with Criminal Robert.
Right.
Okay. So now I'm looking back like, oh, bangers. Bangers. Hits.
Well, I said I hate you so much.
These young people don't know how to talk to a lady today because my man said, let's make sweet love between bang, bang, bang. Bang. Ooh,
were you as upset as everyone else?
As Steve Harvey?
Oh, exactly.
As Steven? Yeah. As Steven. Now, Steven, you know, we've all had enough of Steve Harvey.
That's for sure.
Just honestly for life. And I like Steve. Like, I don't dislike Steve Harvey, but he did do too much on the commentations.
Yeah. I didn't watch it, so I want to know how it, because they cut him out the second half, was it?
They did. The people did respond to Black Twitter's feedback in real time.
Okay.
And they came back from that intermission, and Uncle Steve was very upset because of what y'all had said on that internet. He said, first of all, hey, you little mother. See, I heard what you said. Oh, he was big mad. He was so mad about it. It was the commentary on Twitter was funny, but him responding to the commentary live
what's funny?
Is really what was iconic about it.
That's great.
It shall live in infamy. So just oh God, so fun. I'm not singing anymore. But the Isley Brothers was tearing it. They tore it up. And then Earth, Wind, and Fire came in there. You seen Verdine he was giving us costume.
Did they bring everybody with Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Well, it was only 3 of them. You know, Maurice has gone on to glory.
Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Mm-hmm.
But they had Verdine. I can't remember the other 2 names. Verdine, the one with that press out though, so we know him. Iconic. Mm-hmm. Iconic.
I'm glad y'all put in the comments that y'all watched the verses. I talked about it on my BusyBlu and Associates meeting, which I haven't done in a while. You know why, but I've been busy. But we'll pick that back up. But we did talk about it, so I'm glad that they actually loved it, that you loved it, that you enjoyed it, and that
I can't wait to see it again. So we're getting together this summer for my grandma's birthday, and I'm helping to put together the itinerary. And one of the activities I want to do is replaying the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind, and Fire verses, like with the whole family, and just like dancing. Because we're gonna rent a house out. The whole
family. That would be fun.
I know, right? You know, my family gonna get down. Okay, when they get to Boogie Wonderland,
I'll bring my own I'll bring my own cocktails if I need that. Not that I will, but I'll come.
First of all, you know if it's one thing, you know 2 things for sure. They're gonna have some drinks. That's the first thing. They're gonna have some cocktails.
Will be present. Okay. I want to make sure that I go back and say that all y'all follow DD758. I was watching his me and Teddy Bear actually were watching his Married at First Sight review today. He has some characters on there, so
I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, he has some characters on there. Yeah, and I, you know, gay or straight, I'm not sure where he is on the spectrum. You know, to me it doesn't matter, but the boy is fine. Okay, so y'all go check him out.
You gotta stop looking at other men's.
No, you know what's funny is that I put him on this big screen and Teddy Bear was like, well, who is this that we watching? I said, well,
I like y'all so open in y'all house.
I said, well, he ain't that important. Don't worry about it. But we watched the whole video from start to end. So
I had seen it was a fine man that just joined the cast of Snowfall, and my husband watched the Snowfall, and I had already seen a video on Instagram of the scene that he was in. He about to fight somebody, take his shirt off. This man is robust.
We'll go fight him.
We'll go fight him. Okay. On that day, I did choose violence. Okay. And when my husband came home and watched Snowfall, I just had to sit in the living room and look like I was just scrolling through my Instagram because I never really paid a show no mind. So here they are trying to look busy. I said, what's going on this show? They always doing something. I'm in there with the people's eyebrow, my dress. Trying not to. I said,
this show's so dramatic.
This is dramatic. Wait, all they do is kill people on here. Who gonna be in the cast if they kill all the people?
This is awesome.
Who gonna be in it? I can't believe you watched this nonsense. Then today he was watching. I said, you know he British. He was like, you're done. Okay, all right. I'm gonna see you later after this. Over. I'm not allowed to talk during Snowfall no more.
Let me start watching Snowfall.
I can just send you the clip. Send you the clip. You could, send me the clip. Just skip the rest of it is shoot, bang, bang, sell drugs, whatever. I mean, it's a good show. It's a good show. I didn't watch it from the beginning, so I'm a little confused about the plot.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm not really following the story so well. Which is why I'm not allowed to come because I got too many questions because I missed whatever season they on.
We are the same.
Okay. Yeah, but Tater Bay nicer than my bookie.
No, we not. We just don't watch it at all. We don't. So if
he watched it, I'm allowed to sit in there, but I can't be in there with my inquiries and stuff.
And because I like to talk, I decided I'm gonna walk out. So then I just don't watch those shows because I have too many questions. Y'all, sorry, this is the rant part of the thing, but I have too many questions for superhero shows or background shows or things that I'm just new to this. You need to fix this for me. And Taylor Bay's like, mm-mm, mm-mm. And you need to be quiet, okay? So I remember one time when we first started dating, he loved what was that Shonda Rhimes show where they were lawyers? How to Get Away with Murder?
How to Get Away with?
Child,
That show was so hard to follow.
Thank you. He was in the last season.
You missed one episode, and child, you lost.
Girl, give it away. Give it
and
up.
then when they started going back in time and stuff and doing all kind of visions, honey, I said, "Now, this ain't that so Raven. I don't like that. I don't like that. It was too busy. I don't like nobody going up and down the time-space continuum. That's too much. We've got to set some boundaries, okay?
And you still they traveling and you don't know the show, but you still expect this. I said it's a no for busy. It's a no for busy. It's a no for busy.
So let's just go rewatch Scandal.
Amen. See, and let's not get into that. We have to do a rant session just on pop culture. Yo, I need my cocktail. Oh, bitch. Y'all, so let me quickly tell y'all, because she just ran past me. She thinks she's slick. Come up here asking me for some money. Well, ask that bitch for some money. My cat, I came downstairs.
How is Phyllis?
Oh, I'm about to tell you, almost dead. Okay, she about to be sesame chicken for it soon. So I woke up in the morning. There's a hole in the cat food. Just ate all out. Ate all out. Okay, so I'm thinking, I know this bitch did. Like, I know she did it.
Wait, ate through a bag of cat food?
The bag. Through the bag. It got into the bag and ate the cat food, right? So, because she's on a diet, she started getting, like, lumps.
Happens to the best of us.
So I had to put her on a diet. Mm-hmm. She don't like that. She don't like the diet. So every morning when I'm down here, getting the house together and making breakfast, she's downstairs too. Meow, 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 meow. Just all throughout the house. Today she's not downstairs. And today she's not meowing. And I'm thinking, what is going on? Girl, I get that bag, the bag bust wide open.
Oh,
so I'm like, oh, I know this bitch did. So I bring the bag upstairs. Now I gotta find her. Is this one right here? This one right here.
Oh, Catherine.
So I bring the bag upstairs, right? You see she angry. Her heart is beating fast. I bring the bag upstairs, right? And I said, did you do this? When I said I never seen the cat go faster, she moves so fast. No. You on that tire and you shouldn't even be down here. She said, hey, y'all.
So, Shan, her name is neither Phyllis nor Catherine. I just make up
her name is Lexi. She
older, sophisticated names for her because she's too. So I just think of sophisticated, like more middle-aged names for the cat because she's too fancy for all of us. She doesn't come out when we come over. She doesn't talk to me at all. Sometimes she like walks past and she's like, "Oh, commoners," and then she just like keeps going. So, okay, fellas.
Yeah, she's a very highfalutin cat.
She's very highfalutin.
Yeah, and now she's hungry. Okay, she's highfalutin and hungry. So she ate that food, and when I say there's nothing in her bowl, she came down thinking she was gonna get some. She's like, "Oh, he's on his video," because the pets know what's going on in the house. So she was in his lap. She's like, "Oh, I know what he's doing." She came down.
He's busy, so he can't get me.
She snuck through, and she went to her bowl and realized, "Oh, y'all be okay. Nothing's there, and that cat food is locked away."
Oh, how you gonna do my girl like that?
Girl, as faster than this, I could get her. I did her just like that. So let's get to the episode, y'all. Thank y'all for coming through listening to our rant. We did about 20 minutes, but that's okay.
Now we're not gonna be you long tonight.
We definitely not. So let's get into all of the couples. We're gonna do two episodes at once. I'll just say overall, and I'm not sure if you have more. Well, I'll let you say what you feel about episode 12 before we get into 13.
We could just go
Overall,
couple by couple because I don't even.
I don't have a lot to say about episode 12 except for I love the concept, and y'all not gonna get me to dislike the concept because I was watching a lot of Black Twitter, and they was like, pets. Why we gotta talk about pets? Pets not people. People that don't have nothing to do with this, and that's so stupid. Y'all, Black Twitter was going in on people who care about those pets. Okay? And y'all know we used to judge it off as a white people thing, but now Black people got pets and we understand, and we don't have children's. Okay? And now we got financial stability and stuff. You know, we're changing and evolving. And I wish somebody would make me feel like my pet is not my child. My pet has been with me through breakups, hard times. I got him when I was lost, okay, destitute in Vermont, trying to find a soulmate, trying to find somebody who just cared about me. Luke woke me up, okay, to say, look, I know you are depressed, but I gotta walk, okay? I got to be, okay? I gotta play, okay? He changed my life. Because then I started realizing, I guess I just cannot sit here. Mm-hmm. I guess I can't just wallow in my, depression. Luke was like, excuse me, can I pee? I will pee in this house, or you gonna take me outside? And he was very vocal about outside. He did not let me stop. And he started to train me. And then we started this bond of, as soon as I'm about to cry, Luke could be anywhere and he'll come to me. He'll just sit in my lap. And it's like, I know I'm okay. He knows me. He takes care of me. He gets me. He understands me. And I get him and understand him. I know when he's being sneaky. I know when he done something. Like, I can just be sitting down and I look at him and I'll be like, where's that? Where is it? What did you do? We just know each other. And the fact that people felt like the segment was so stupid, they didn't get it. Why do I have to take it? Just like Chris, I don't give about that dog. Everything just bothered me because this is something serious. To some people have fertility issues. People have issues carrying. People have issues raising or trying to connect or have a bond with someone. And I have realized that sometimes this is what you have, and pets not free. Pets are not free. You have to food alone, okay, regularly, depending on the size you got and how much they like to eat.
And what they eat. It's a lot. My dog eats refrigerated, fresh food.
Taking up space in the fridge.
I have to do a and they don't even sell it where our grocery shops. I have to go to another store to get his food, which is fine. That's my baby.
Yeah, I
wouldn't give. I get what you're saying.
I'll have kids.
So, people got a lot of opinions on the internet.
Yeah, it became. Look, my pets are my children. Not that they're kids or human children, but they have doctor's appointments, and those things are expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it feels a way for someone to devalue a thing that you take care of
regularly every day.
And that's like I take care of this animal every day, and no, it's not a human child, but I put a lot of effort and attention and resources and
I
care
can't just leave it alone.
Taking care of my pet. And I think overall people should just leave other people alone.
I like that. Mind your business.
You could just mind your business. Instead of being rude and disrespectful, you could also be quiet. You could do that. You could.
It's an option. That. Is there something you wanted to point out for episode 12? That was high level. That was I love the episode. I love how they tried to bring the pets in. Everything about the episode. It wasn't that interesting, but it was cutesy. And I was like, what?
Yeah, the little format was cute.
I'm down for this. Do they do that regularly? Or was this the first time?
I think that was the first time because I think this is the first season where everybody had pets.
Yeah.
It was cute. It was a cute concept.
So let's get into episode 13, y'all. That was our thing for episode 12. I love the concept. Y'all stop talking about people and their pets. I love the fact that if you could care for a pet, you definitely could care for me. Okay, or at least I can see steps and a child. And that's all I need to see. Because some people were like, I don't do pets. I don't do plants. I don't know my mother. I'm not going to do anything with my... And it's like, well, how am I going to be nurtured? You don't cook, you don't clean, you don't have a pet, you don't have a plant. Have you
You
taken
do,
care of
and
anything?
pets do require a lot of nurturing. They require consistency and structure and like a lot of the same things you do have to give to a child. No, I don't have to make my pet kind and,
Yes, you do.
well, I
Girl,
can't
because if that thing
really
go
make
about
him.
biting people.
No, well, not I can make him non-violent, but I mean, like raising a child where I want to raise a productive citizen. That
Oh
that's
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
more
exactly, yeah.
intricate of a task.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some baseline things that you do have to like invest in your pet to get them where you want them to go.
Right.
So, okay. So let's go on to 13. We can go couple by couple.
Let's start
I
with
don't have
the
a
most
ton.
least interesting
Chris and Paige.
couple, which is Chris and Paige. I felt like Paige, I'm tired. Paige, I'm tired.
Last week she started acting like she had some sense and was like, I need to reclaim my
I'm
senses.
tired.
And the thing is, we love to see it, but then we all saw that preview of that finale where she's still acting like a fool. So then we couldn't really believe that.
That's true. But outside of that, it took too long, sis. Okay, it took too long, sis. It got. I am now at the stage of because I had to go through the stages of grief, and
But hold on. Okay, pause. This is a thing that we struggle with, right? In TV land. Last week they were only at like 30 days. Like
mhm,
all of this has happened in a month. We've been watching it for like 3 months. So it feels like a lot longer to us. But
that's
like
true.
you could be caught up in something for a month and feel like it's like a whirlwind of stuff and then be able to take a step back like, hold on, this is crazy. Like a
Yeah,
month is not that long. For something like you're on television, you did all this stuff to get in, like you really wanted to work. Like there's a lot of feelings associated with it.
yeah,
Like I just want to give her a little break on that because we've been able to slowly, like we've been on a slow drip of this nonsense.
I hear
And for
you.
her, it was happening really fast.
Yeah. So all y'all who value what BB said, go with her. Look, sis, it was too fast. It took too long for me, sis. The man told you at go, ready, set, go. Once he has sex with you, that he don't like you. Okay, he don't like your face. He done been talking to people. He left to get you breakfast and never came back with breakfast.
Now that
Like
that's the thing I don't like. He came back in there without no food.
he
Don't come back.
left.
Don't come
He
back without no
left
food.
to get you breakfast and didn't even bring your English
And
muffin. Like
child,
you got nothing. You got nothing. And then on the trips, still had problems with you. I didn't see y'all at any excursion except for the one he cussed those two white people at. And then y'all didn't do
he
anything
did
else.
cuss them out on them
People went on
ATVs.
trips. People went on excursions. People went on. We had people sitting down in aquariums eating dinner, and here y'all was back at the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn, and he was telling you, "Oh, I think I may get back with my girlfriend." And you still with that. You have been living in this apartment, okay, by yourself, okay, either out of styrofoam plates with your family to tell him about how bad he is. He came over for a Bible study, he didn't even have a Bible verse, and he just wanted food and you to teach him. I'm done. Like I don't know what the signs are that you need, and I know it's only been 30 days, okay? Oh, girl, you can only talk to me like that regular. All of that was in 30 days, okay? All of that was in 30 days. Now I gotta be real. All of that was in 30 days, okay? I'm not gonna say that Busy wouldn't take that in a span of a year. Okay, because I could. In a span of a year, I'd be like, okay, these are the things that have been happening all year. He told you he didn't like you. He had sex with you regularly. He still didn't like you. He done got back with his baby mother. He done bought her a car. Say he's ready to get back with you. Left y'all honeymoon to go spend time with somebody else. Has moved to the place with y'all. Say he doesn't want to do this. This was in the span of 30 days. This was in 30 days.
It was a rough month.
Girl, I'm done. Okay, if I was the therapist, I would have said, so tell me what dumb thing you're ready to do next. Because at this point, I don't think you want our advice. I think you want us to just watch you be stupid. So what you ready to do next? Because I can't. I'm tired, Paige. I'm exhausted. I'm emotionally exhausted watching you. And then Chris had the nerve to get up in here. Go ahead, BB. Go ahead, BB. Let me take a break.
So I think that, not think, I know that Paige is also emotionally exhausted. We're watching it all unfold, as my friend would say, from the dance floor. But
Yes.
she is living all of this stuff and is literally like being humiliated on national television, and not even like in real time, because imagine all of these things happening to you, and right now no one knows, but it's going to have to go on television. And
Mm-hmm.
then you'll have to live it again when everyone sees it and talks about it for months. It sounds awful. Like
Yeah.
awful to be her. I think again her biggest issue has always been her belief that God ordained this marriage and this like Jesus thing that she has going on. I love the Lord, he heard my cry. However,
Not my Jesus.
not my Jesus,
No, she
not
got
from
no.
my
No.
interpretation of Jesus. Like
Oh,
you really need to like reconsider what you believe about God if you believe that he would want this disrespect and nastiness for you.
amen.
So I think she has struggled, but seems to be trending upward, although we have seen the previews from the finale and that looked like some more nonsense. That is where religion gets toxic, unfortunately. Um, Chris,
Tell us about what you feel,
no,
sis.
I really only have one question. I just really wonder if we can go ahead and send him back to hell because his visa has to be up by now.
Oh, for sure.
It's for sure expired. I'm not sure why we're not putting in the paperwork to expedite him back.
I wonder why.
Why does he walk among us?
Do they?
I don't
This
like that.
this is my first season. Remember, is there a time where someone in production or any of the therapists or counselors ever truly seriously get real with the cast? Because I felt like Pastor Cal was like, dude, like, but I wanted him to be like, okay, nah, nigga, no. Okay, nah, like
Yeah, no,
somebody
no.
has to be like, he was trying
Yeah,
to say to him, like, you think you gave it your all, you're joking. No, I need somebody to be like,
you sound like
nah.
a goddamn fool.
Like, yes.
Yeah, so no.
Mm-hmm.
No one has done that. Well, the closest actually was that Dr. Jessica.
Okay. Is that the
This
one
was
who took somebody else's
dead.
okay.
Dead. Now that woman was acting a fool. That wife was acting a fool on John.
Okay.
Showed out at that resort, was cussing him all out on that beach and all of that. He had recorded it. She didn't know. They played them tapes back.
So good.
She came in there telling a fake version of that story. He played that tape. Dr. Jessica saying, I don't like your lies.
Oh.
Well, get with her. Get with her.
So I just want someone to do that to Chris.
Yes, I think we either need that. I think honestly, if they have picked up at this point in the show that Chris is just a narcissist and has no interest in doing anything but hurting this woman and just having attention on him, I would rather them stop following him. We don't need to see him because I think it sets a really negative precedent
Yes.
that when someone is showing like really really toxic behaviors, we will continue to allow them to be involved. Like that doesn't show
That's
positive
so
intent
true.
towards the
Yeah.
process and to everyone else
So true.
who is participating. I think it sets a really really bad example for like what can happen on this show versus trying to protect the integrity of the show, because this is by far the wildest nonsensical season so far. um
That's true.
but like why are we not saying Chris is not welcome here? Like just release him from his contract. We've seen enough. Do not follow him. He cannot be associated with us. He will get no more attention from us because that's all he wants. He did not want to be married. He did not want to be with this girl. And then the longer you let him stay, the more I feel like now he's just a little Tasmanian devil in a too small shirt,
And
right? So now you
enjoying
running
how
around
he
and
does it.
enjoying it.
Yeah.
Running around talking about how there's so many beautiful women, y'all could have picked like a pretty woman. Don't ever play with this girl like that.
That frustrated me so much. Now
To infinity and beyond, but I don't appreciate that he even had the platform or like the time and space to say that. You already saw what he was. Why y'all still letting him be out here?
Do you think that? And I was watching Didi's video that I talked about. Y'all go follow him. Do you think that colorism plays a major role into the way he thinks?
Absolutely.
Me too. I just want to make sure I was
He's a clown. He's a clown.
with the best makeup.
I give it one star.
With the best
no, remember we said that at the beginning of the season when he said she's not my type. My husband and I were trying to figure out what does he mean by that, and my husband was like, "Well, it can't be her body, right? Like
the booty is when she was packing up those clothes."
I said, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am."
Paige, what you got back there so serious? Okay, dangerous.
She have a deacon struggling through the prayer at the church. And she does have a beautiful body, but she also has a beautiful face. Now I get that like some people's aesthetic is just not for us, but I think it's one thing to say like they're not really my type versus like she's not good looking. That's different, and
it was just her face.
Is mean and you know
it's cruel.
It's very cruel. And it just the nerve. I mean, if niggas ain't got nothing.
It's like
they got the nerve. Chris, you don't look like anything.
He looks like a bulldog.
You don't look. You look like anything. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
And I love Paige. I love her melanin.
Her hairline is uneven.
I'm gonna say Paige.
You look dusty.
You look dusty, yeah.
Your looks ain't gonna get you paid. And we know this.
I would say Paige. Now, girl, I love you as hell. Stop going to that wig shop that you've been going to.
The wig with that center part, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I was gonna let it go, but I didn't like it.
No, respect yourself a little bit more. Respect yourself a little
bit more, but that's okay. You know, sometimes it looks one way in the mirror, and then that camera catches it. It's in high definition and just goes a little left.
Girl, I was looking at it, I said, well, what is this? Is there a break? Now, those not baby hairs because that look like a full...
It was a full part, but the part was a little wide. And also, one side needed to be brushed. And this is the other thing that I don't like about television. Because why would y'all let that girl be up there? I would never work on somebody's crew and just let them be being filmed. Hold on, sis. Hold on. Let me just... Hold on. Anybody got some soft sheen? Ain't nobody got no oil sheen in here.
I hated the whole thing.
It's just a little brush because it really was just like something on a part that just needed to be.
And she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. Yeah. Yo, I don't care what Chris say. I think she's together. So well spoken.
All of it.
She using words that because y'all and I was trying to tell the this. There's a lot of attractive people in the world. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of attractive people in the world. BusyBlu is not I will look at you and say, I can lust really quickly. What you talk, it's enough for me. It's enough for me. It's a lot of attractive people in the world. Please, and trust me, I could point them out.
Most of the time they're doing it when they start talking. So
as soon as you say something,
and this is like, why don't you just stand there and be quiet and just be beautiful? Be beautiful.
I thought you were smarter than that. I don't want that stuff inside of me. So, let's... The next person, please. I don't even need that. I don't even need that energy inside of me. So we'll go to the next. Paige is so beautiful. Yo, melanin is my thing. Melanin is my thing. Me and Taylor Bay were watching a movie the other day. Somebody came in and out, and I was like, wait a second. Who was just the melanin? As Paige, just her melanin, her skin is just so beautiful. Now she hasn't found her right foundation to match, but outside of that, her skin is so beautiful. And when she talks, you gotta listen because she uses words that truly are. Now, sometimes I do think she's reading a lot of self-help books, but she uses language where it's like, talk to me, not like talk to me like that. And he's thinking that, oh, it's just her face is just unattractive. What I know she can teach you is a lot of stuff. You may have bought Mercedes, but I don't know if she knows
but also
what an APR or anything else.
Mercedes just came on television and you telling your old joint, I'm trying to get back with my ex, and she come to this little meetup talking about, I don't know what he said to you, but I'm not interested in that. Yeah. You look like a fool because now you chasing behind some kind of light-skinned girl who with a mighty sewing. She's very cute. She is. But she don't want you. She don't want you. He always from the beginning, I thought he would be chasing after somebody smaller and somebody lighter because he has a very specific
Pastor Chris said that. And I love that about what Pastor Chris said. He's like, look, you've been engaged
twice and married once, and it's all gone down.
That was the realest part. That's like, I want more.
Yeah, you need to focus on yourself, okay? You need to focus on yourself because
that was the realest part. That was the realest part.
It really was. And he really had to you see him like pause because ain't nobody got him together. You look like a fool out here. You're a fool.
He said, outside of Paige, okay, outside of your Paige, you've been engaged
twice.
That was the most. And the people I was like, get her.
They don't want you.
I just wanted more than that. So let's get off of them, y'all, because we want to get to every couple. But I just wanted someone to be so much more real to him. That I feel like Pastor Cal got close. I needed a little bit more of a dragerization. I think the closest to the drag was, look, outside of Paige and you have been married. You got expectations that you're not gonna meet. Okay, like that was the closest it got to. I just wish somebody dragged him on.
Obviously, women have expectations that you can't meet because neither one of them wanted to marry you. Now check that.
Let's get on to
it was a mighty sewing.
It was a mighty sewing. So let's get to the next. To you, who's the next?
Next on my list is Brianna and Vincent. Champagne Vinny.
Champagne, girl, don't call him that. Cry.
I thought he liked it now.
That's a toss up with him.
I feel like he is showing a lot more emotional constancy these days, and I'm also seeing as we go on. Brianna, ooh.
What about her?
Brianna doesn't know how to compromise. And I knew you were going to be on Brianna's side because you also struggle with compromise.
Oh, no, I wasn't on Brianna's side.
Your face?
Oh, no, I wanted to know what about her. But she bossy. I like a boss.
Yeah, no, you're bossy. You're bossy and you want what you want and you like things how you like them and you want it done when you want it done. So Brianna is like that. Brianna is like that. And she's struggling like her, because if the concept is compromise, right? First of all, so I think sometimes people don't get that, compromise, requires letting something go sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not the thing. So, her coming in and telling Vincent that he has to wake up, I think is, the rudest shit I've seen in a long time. First of all, why are you telling a grown man when he has to get out of the bed? That's the first thing. He's not a child. Second, her reasoning behind it. Oh, if you get up earlier on the weekends, you can be more productive during the day. But why are you concerned about what is it that he needs to do for you that he hasn't done?
Mm-hmm.
If he's tired, let this man sleep. Right? What task list? Because she's the task driver, right? So she feels like if I'm up doing stuff, you have to be up doing stuff, which is a control issue. No, he doesn't. But when I say compromise, it's letting go of that idea that I need to control what you're doing.
Yeah.
And the motives behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, why would I be worried if my husband wanted to sleep in? If I asked him to do something, I only care that he does it. If I say the oil needs to get changed. I don't care if you go get it changed at 8 a.m. or 2 p.m. The oil just needs to get changed.
Hey, that.
Right. So I'm not like clocking like what time he gets up. Well, did you work out? Did you walk the dog? Did you blah, blah, blah? Like, why? What?
It's a toss-up for me. I do have a problem. Maybe I am more like Brianna. I have a major problem with hiding your emotions. Talk to me. Talk to me. So then my emotions become more I don't want to say vigorous. They become more intrusive or anger because nobody has ever said to me like, "Oh, I'm tired." So she's like, "Well, get up," and he's like, "Well, let me get up." Because even when was it Pastor Cal was talking to him, or was it the new chick? I don't know her name. Sorry, y'all. I just started watching this series. But she was like, "It's a problem that you have to ask whether or not you should ask if you're tired. Like, just you're tired. Like, if you're tired, you're tired. You don't have to. It's a problem if you feel like you can't say you're tired. Like, just say you're tired. And I want you to just tell me, didn't it feel like bossy or structured people? I have no problem being like, oh, I didn't realize I didn't know.
But that's not her. That's not what she's doing.
If you let me just...
He said, I'm tired. And she said, well, why don't you go to bed earlier? No, that's not
also, he's an entrepreneur.
It doesn't matter. You don't get... He's an adult again, but it's the need to control what he's doing. Because if we say compromise, like, and I could see why he was like boiling, right? Yeah. Because what did she give up? What did she compromise? All of her solutions were things that he should do. You should get up earlier on the weekends, go to bed earlier. I didn't like that, but that's how she processes things. It's not like, what can I do? And I think they're going to struggle. And I see this like very clearly because I've done this to my husband where I feel like I'm right and you have to do what I'm doing. And that's not how I process it at the time. But it's like kind of push him to a place where he's like, well, I'm not going to go back and forth with you. We just going to end up doing what you want to do. Right. And once that like became really clear to me, like it made me feel really bad about myself as a partner. Yeah. But she's not getting that. My husband is more vocal than Vincent is. Yeah. But Vincent is going to have to say, like, that's a boundary. I'm not a child, right? Yeah. Like he has to say something. And I think it's better for him to speak up now. Because once she like feels like, well, I can do this, I can do that, it's just going to be a part of their relationship, but it's not sustainable. Like,
I think that's where my mix is because I have a lot of ideals, but nothing ever goes the way I want it. Like I am very mouthy, but I am the one who gives in more. Like things would go more the other person's way, then it will go my way. I don't have anything that I want right now.
Friend, no.
Girl, you better ask around. But I have no problem with that because I want to please my partner, which is why I want Vincent to be more vocal. This is what you want.
So I think there's give and take, and what we get can like be at like different levels in a relationship.
This seems strange and don't want to reveal on television. What do you mean?
He's not giving me strange. I think he like wants to keep the peace and he wants his wife to be happy. But he's suffering as a result because he is not able to like.
There's a part of him that wants to come out, or he wants to keep it cute.
Right. So I think he also probably struggles with saying what he wants without blowing up. Mm-hmm. And what the wild part is that he is saying what he wants, but she doesn't listen.
He fidgety too. You gotta watch that because he be tossing that ring around.
Yeah.
When she be talking, people okay.
I think he's like trying to calmly communicate and she doesn't respond to that. Mm-hmm. And she thinks she's responding to it, but she's not. And then now there's an added layer of frustration that like, I tried to do the thing I'm supposed to do and you don't listen. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to go to like up to my boiling point because now like, I don't know what like, I don't have any more strategies. Yeah. Right. Like I said it calmly. But compromise is going to be a really big issue, I think, on her side. Because there are compromises to be made if you're standing on the outside. Like, it doesn't seem like a hard thing.
Your families could be compromised. The way she was talking about that much money on
that budget, when they decided on I think they said 250, and then she put in 350. It was like 350. No, that's not how it works.
That budget was
not how it works. And then said, if you want to buckle down and save and plan for the future, do I also have to do that?
That was a hard conversation for that was a hard conversation for me. I was on her side.
That's when I needed Erik to come in and say, that's not what being
this
married
is
means.
the one.
This is not, I mean, you want to be single.
I was on her side for that. I think from my perspective, and I'm just being honest, I come from a single parent home where I got nothing. You know, I didn't get to do anything. I didn't get to enjoy life. We didn't take no trip. My mom was like, look, this is what we got. And now I finally was able to, I pay my mama's bills. Like, I'm able to like have enough money where I was like, now I want to do stuff that I never got a chance to do. Let's take a trip. It was my first time being out of the country when I was like, or going on a cruise or going to any place. It was like, now I want to enjoy it. But I was dating someone who, in a 2-parent household, we went to trips. We got everything. The mama would say, I gave him everything he wanted. Like, there was no question. So now it's like, now it's time to save. And it's like, wait a second, but I have not lived yet. So now I got to immediately go into save for the future. And you're like, I did all those things before. Yeah, but I have done nothing. I want an expensive jacket. I want an expensive car. Like, I've done nothing. I had that already. Yeah, but I've never had it.
Yes, and I don't think these are mutually exclusive things, right? Like, you can work together with your partner to like create a savings plan. Like, what do we think we need to be saving? And it does not have to be, again, compromise, right? She might be saving the bare minimum. He might be trying to go super aggressive on the savings. Agree on something moderate, right? Yeah. But like, you can still go on vacations and actually put money into your savings, because
it's also, not like you don't want to do vacations.
You're in a compromise. She don't want to save barely.
That's
right?
True. Like, she was like, I got everything at the house, so we don't need to go.
Yeah, and they have to compromise, right? Like, I'm not sitting in this house and never doing anything. Now, I'm not saying we have to go we have to go out of the country 4 times a year. Like, maybe that's just not feasible. But I would like to leave the country once a year and go on one big trip, and then maybe 2 or 3 like smaller trips in the United States, like during the year, whatever it is. And however we save towards that, or we try to find a Southwest flight deals, whatever, like, I want to be able to do that. Yeah, no, I'll stay at home. But whatever it is, there's paths to be able to do that. And I just think it just takes some compromise. You can want to travel and save, but they're both like in their 30s, right? Like, starting to save seriously in your 30s is really important. People be playing around like retirement is not a thing.
Oh, no, it's very serious.
And you're going to be broke as shit.
You sure will.
You're going to be working till you die, right? If you're not like maxing out your 401k and all of that stuff, and a lot of us, especially those of us like Black and brown people, and those of us who come from disadvantaged households, we don't have that financial literacy. Amen. You are not always going to be making money like how you make money today unless you invest and you save.
Yeah.
So there have to be some strategic choices. And I think Vincent overall is saying, I want to make more strategic choices now for like the longevity of our family.
Yeah.
And she still want to run around getting her hair braided every month. First of all, you're not going to have no hair if you get your hair braided every month. You need to stop. You're not going to have any more hair. That's the first thing.
I didn't think she felt like that.
Every month. She did say that, like.
I was talking about the money wise. I felt like she felt like I finally have enough money to experience it. And I want to experience it.
But that doesn't mean you have to, like, when she said $200 as a date, girl, you live in Atlanta. Everything costs 15 cents. I don't know how you spend it.
No, her stuff is money. I don't think that I have a toss up between whether or not dates should be in our budget or if it should be in our separate budgets. Because in our
we put dates
in our joint budget.
We put entertainment and miscellaneous in our budget, but not because we call them dates. Like, these are the things we're doing together, like we're going to the movies and all that stuff. But if I want to date you, it's the effort of funding from us, and we're still investing in this relationship.
Oh, we don't do that.
So I feel like if they took that, talk about saving, y'all. If y'all took that part of the budget out and put it into maybe if y'all wanted to do a savings or whatever. Now it's who's courting who. But if y'all paying for the courtship, I feel like it's different. Like, oh, I'm taking you out. I'm doing this for you. I got it. And then
I think the idea that you have to spend hella money to go out.
I don't want nobody to spend that much money because I love a walk around the monuments, girl.
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't always have to be a $200 evening, right? Like, for me, a $200 date is like my birthday. Yeah. Like, I don't need $200 dinners. For me, it's unnecessary.
What type of steak is that?
Right. Like, and it's nice to experience nice things from time to time, but I wouldn't say that, like, I need to do that constantly, right? Like, 4 times a month going out for like $200 meals to me is insane.
Child, don't take me out one time a month.
That's our whole grocery. That's
you
more
could
money
just give me the money
in a month on groceries.
Exactly. Don't you ever take me out for $200, okay? I'm saying
that could happen, right? So if it's like my birthday or like Broadway reopens and me and my husband say we want to go see a show on Broadway and a seat is $100 and we go to dinner and we get drinks, whatever. We have spent $350 on an evening, right? But that is a special evening. We don't do that every weekend.
Yeah.
That's like a big splurge weekend.
I would love that. But I know I wouldn't be able to do this for the next year. Y'all good. You good.
Yeah, or like even quarterly. But like all the time, I don't know. People just, I think it can be wasteful. And again, I think that there is something to be said about like your age and your spending habits.
Yeah.
Because you do have to think about the future, right? You're talking about y'all might want to have children, all of this. That stuff adds up. You don't know if like you could become injured or sick or anything. Like you have to have some money for the future and like really preparing for that stuff. Like it does require cutting some stuff out. Like you can't have everything. But also like with them combining incomes, like you should still be able to live well. And y'all should instantly be saving money because y'all don't pay separate rent no more.
Well, sound like
where's all that? You know what I mean? Like if we were both spending $1,500 on an apartment and now we both spend $750 because we live together, where's that money? That's instant. I mean, even if you put that into a savings account, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, some people they start to pay more of their other stuff off now and not put it in a savings.
But even still, that's going in a good direction. That's helping you towards financial freedom. That don't mean like now I get extra designs on my nails.
Now I'm getting.
Now I'm going to get the acrylic that goes to. I mean, like whatever it is, right? Like, oh, now I eat out every day. Like it doesn't have to become that.
I'm gonna say I'm very frugal. I am a saver. But I do love a trip. The girl loves a trip. Shout out to Dear Dana. Y'all put your bees in the comments to Dear Dana who's saying, sending love, speak the truth. Atlanta isn't cheap. I love her. I will say, I don't know what world Atlanta just is in, but for some reason, like I went there recently and it's just like, why is all of this stuff so much money? Like this is not New York City.
The years ago when I went there, I felt like it was cheaper, and then more recently, like my brother took us to brunch, and I was like,
"Why is this city so expensive?
For what?
The city is."
But I couldn't tell if he was just trying to like gallivant, like he was just trying to take us, or Atlanta was becoming that. But it seems Atlanta is becoming that.
Yes, it's just like I think it's because of the popularity in entertainment and media. Like it has become a destination city where people are like, oh, I want to party in Atlanta. I want to go to Atlanta. Stuff is just so much money. It is just like
we spent more money there on brunch than we spent on like a brunch in DC, and brunch in DC was nicer.
And that's a shame because we went to the
had
brunch
us at
capitals.
A buffet with plastic plates and plastic utensils. I said, now I know you lying because Teddy and the Bully would never.
Ever. Okay.
Let's
say, girl. And then shout out to S.12 said people who make money, spend money. It took. I'll take a look at her monthly income. She did not say she was not saving. She did say she was saving. She said she was saving a little bit. And I do feel like with the structured life or the rigidness, because I consider her like similar to me. There's a bank account somewhere that people don't know about. I think that sometimes it's hard when you get with someone who is like, I'm not doing that. Everything's in the house. When that man said, I'll buy a pool table, I'll buy a pool table. So there's no reason for us to go out and go anywhere. I said, no, ma'am, Pam. There is the reasons to go out and go. So I still want to live life. There are pool halls I want to go to. Why do I have to sit here and always stay in the house? Because he's like, why do we have to leave?
Yeah. Again, compromise, right? We want to put a pool table in our basement, but I also am not interested in going to pool halls, right? I think pool is cool, but I like to have people over. We can grill. We can all, right? And that's probably a third of what we would spend if we all went out, right?
Yeah.
And that's how we do most of the time, right? Occasionally we'll all go out to a fancy dinner together, whatever, but like that doesn't have to be the norm for me. Also, I'm more, I guess, I would like to, if I'm spending money to go out, I would literally be like a pool hall where I got to pay $20 to use this pool, whatever. I would be mad at that, but I would drop $500 on a seat to Hamilton. Right? Because like I care to spend money on the things that are really important to me that I think are going to be high quality experiences.
Yeah.
To me, burning money on shit that I don't actually really want to be doing, it just costs money.
Yeah.
Like to be there, but I don't really care to be doing it. That's where I don't want to spend my money. That's when I'm mad about $40.
Personal savings put aside. So I have learned from my partner that, and I'm calling him my partner now. Y'all follow. Yeah, I'll do a story time. But what I have learned from my partner is that it's okay to be like, you know what, this is the relationship. We got our couples budget. And then this is my individual's couple budget. Like if I want to do stuff with them, this is the money set aside for it. Sometimes we're gonna use it, sometimes we're not. But like in this area, a pool hall, if you want to go to get a pool table, it's only $5. Okay, just start, and you can put the quarters in, and you can have that for 3 hours. Okay, you can play forever, and then you get a cocktail, you get your drinks. Like it's very cheap. I feel like it's very cheap to date. To me, I feel like it's very cheap because I like to cook. We only got to pay for the activity, and then I'm gonna take you home, and I'm about to saute some stuff up, put some stuff up, put the food on, and then I'm gonna put it down. Okay, so that's the type of date I want to have a fun activity. Take you out, wine and dine you. Well, not wine and dine you, but take you out, have you experience life, something new you ain't never seen, art gallery, something like that. Then cook up a nice something and then give that to you. I feel like dates can be cheap.
They can. They don't have to be expensive. Again, all of this, we're going back to the same. It's compromise.
Vincent want to stay just at home.
Have to.
It's a new room in the house.
She want to gallivant. He want to stay at home. There is room to compromise. We're going out sometimes, but I think where Brianna is struggling is if we're trying to compromise towards the middle, and you're not trying to take none of these numbers down. That's not a compromise, right? Like. You still trying to run it up. And I'm telling you that makes me uncomfortable. And like counseling session, you're not even thinking, what is it that is making him like anxious about finances, right? Because like I have a lot of like anxiety around finances. I grew up poor and I've like told like I don't never want to be poor again. Right? Like I don't never want to be poor again. And that has sometimes like my decisions, it impacts that, right? Like, but we never know where people are coming from. Like, not that Vincent is boring or just want to stay in the house, but Vincent is likely thinking through a whole bunch of stuff and feels like that's the only way to get there. And that's not the only way to get there, right? Like you have a partner, every cent doesn't have to go to savings, but y'all do have to figure out how to compromise.
Yeah.
Anyways, they can go out without blowing the budget. I would like to see them come back to the table. As he said, like, I would like for you to just consider some places where you could like cut back. I think that was the perfect prompt,
right?
Yeah.
Do you have to do all the things on your list? Do you have to be doing them? Do you have to be doing them as often as you do them? Maybe you get your hair braided 1 month and then the next month you do your own hair. You have beautiful natural hair. Get yourself some design essentials. Get yourself a good co-wash that you
I
can
loved
go
her blowout in the
yeah,
confessional.
but a blowout is like $65. You can go get a blowout for under $100. Those braids are like $300. Get some braids, then get a blowout. Then get some braids, then get a blowout. Right, and
She looked
that'll
so
help
good.
balance the budget. Yeah.
She looked good. The thing was, I said, "Come on, blowout."
Yeah.
She looked good.
And
I
she
gotta
can
give
help
it.
her family on the path to financial freedom if she continues to that blowout. Amen. Okay.
Tater Bay said, for those wondering, I have a food and games budget. I originally had. So Tater Bay did not like going out, doing dates. All that stuff was not a thing for him. So I was like, well, let's go out, let's do something because I want to experience him. I want to experience that. And he's like, oh no, but now he had to create a funny
Javon,
games
send me
budget.
that spreadsheet because I'm struggling with budgeting.
Oh, girl.
Like I write down what I'm supposed to do. I don't do it.
Girl, it's very when I say he say spreadsheet. Remember
No,
he
I
was like,
had a
y'all
spreadsheet.
know
I had one.
Excel. Girl, he'll
Mine
put
had
together.
formulas in it and all kind of stuff. But I don't follow directions no more. I used to do real good with it. Now it's very shaky.
You're Pisces. So y'all, let's go to the next couple.
Next, okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the link between Brianna and Vincent, and then my next couple, which is Virginia and Erik.
Oh.
Is Brianna and Virginia in this last episode both expressed some fears around pregnancy and childbirth and like motherhood. And
I understood Brianna and her fear. Well, Brianna was a toss up because I understood it when she was talking to the therapist or the counselor when it was like, I have high blood pressure. It's a stagnant thing that just never goes down. It doesn't matter what I do. This is what's happening. So if I have a baby, it'll be elevated up. But when she talked to Vincent, it was like, my fear and then this and that. And it was like, wait a second, go straight into the blood pressure thing. And I felt like it was danced around. And then the blood pressure thing was brought up, but it wasn't like this is a dangerous thing for me. And this is it was just
But the other thing is it doesn't. So childbirth is dangerous.
Yeah.
Right. Like pregnancy and childbirth is dangerous. Lots of women die on that table. Right. And experience all kinds of other terrible events.
Right.
And I think what I'm noticing about the way men view pregnancy is oh, your body's made to do that. You'll just do it. It's fine. It's regular.
Yeah.
And it's not as I'm not a machine. Right? Our bodies are not machines.
Right.
There's so many variables. And so it is, I've always been afraid of childbirth. Since I was a teenager, I've been afraid of childbirth. Yeah. I've been afraid that I would lose a baby. I was afraid that I would not be able to deliver. I've been afraid that I would die on the table. Those are really prominent fears for a lot of women. And it's not a thing that men have to think about.
Yeah.
They
did simply say, the longer you wait, the harder it's gonna be. So
yeah, which is not helpful. I would have slapped him. But I mean, it's true. But I think so. One thing that we learned in counseling was don't respond to a feeling with a fact. Right. So she's talking about do not respond to a feeling with a fact. Right. I'm telling you about things that I feel. I'm talking to you about emotions, right? So if I'm oh my God, I was so frustrated, at the grocery store, some lady was doing blah, blah, blah. And then you're just why'd you go to that grocery store? Just go to another grocery store. No, you're invalidating my experience. I need you to say, I can see why you would feel that way. That sounds really frustrating. Okay. And then later, a couple days later, you might be when you grocery shop next weekend, maybe try the other store because remember that lady ticked you off that time. Maybe just don't go to that store again. See if that's any better. Right. That might be better. Mm-hmm. But I think that there's a lot of men don't have the same. I can't say all men, whatever. But overall, I would say men, I don't think it's possible for them to have the same emotional reaction to pregnancy and childbirth that women do.
Yeah.
Because it's happening to our bodies physically.
I would never be able to understand it.
Yeah, and it just could not be understood, right? Like,
yeah.
And they also think it's like, oh, there's a baby in there, you walk around, whatever, and you push it out, right? Like, no. Everything in your body changes. You gain weight, you're sick, you're tired, you got and all of this stuff, right? It's just like so much going on for people. And everybody's pregnancy is different. There's just so many things. And I appreciated Brianna and Virginia talking about their fears around it. And it just reminded me that there's just a lot more conversations that need to happen.
Agreed.
With men in relation to like
women's bodies.
And
we
women's
don't talk, bodies. We don't learn about it. We learn so much about the penis and all this. We do not learn about it. Just to be honest, there is not a lot of sexual education or information that needs to be learned about or talked about, or information around women's bodies and like how much they have to go to, or what a gynecologist is, what's happening inside of them, what happens during the period outside of emotional imbalance.
Yeah, like what's happening to my body right now? Like,
yeah.
What
are these fallopian tubes doing? Yeah. Like, what are we pushing? Why is it more difficult during it? Like, there's so much.
Mm-hmm.
All I hang around is women, so I get them from. I don't want to say I get it. I hear about and I sympathize and I feel like I understand the frustration, but sometimes you're talking to men, it's just like, you don't, like, no, it's not, no, that's not what's happening. Like, that's dumb. You sound dumb. But there's just not a lot of education around it. So it's so simple for them to be like, yeah, but I want a baby now. Yeah, didn't you scrape out all of the, you said that, now she said you don't have none of those anymore. Didn't we already scrape all of it, so now you can have it. Maybe you were going through fibroids before, but she said she scraped them out, so now you can go, right? Like, that's not, like that's not how that works.
Like, they just don't get it. They don't get it. But again, I think it's like we don't talk about it enough, and it's kind of like an assumed thing that like, well, you're a woman, you're the one that has to have the baby. But the thing really is like, in today's world, I don't have to have a baby, right? Like, if I elect not to do that to my body, I don't have to have a baby.
Amen. Yeah.
We can get a surrogate. We can get somebody braver than me who's ready to do it, right? Or you can adopt. Or I know women who don't want children.
Yeah.
Like, that's not mandatory. But I would just like to see a higher level of sensitivity.
I agree.
To how difficult that process is physically, mentally, emotionally for women, and just that like women are not machines.
I'm with it. How do you feel like more like moving to Erik and Virginia, Erik is with his conversation or feeling of like, I want a baby, I want it now. Because she's young. And he's like, let me put some sperm in you.
Yeah, I think he's feeling Erik again. I think everything that he does is motivated by he has a very clear view of what he believes his life should be. And that's gonna jack him up every time because it's made up, right? So as Pastor Cal said, he's operating from a construct of like what his last marriage was, what this marriage is, and somewhere in the middle is what he believes things should be. And I think he believes, well, I'm 34, whatever, I should be having a child soon, right? With no thought to the fact that your marriage is dysfunctional, right? So like bringing a kid into a dysfunctional marriage, not health. It's not what the kids say. It's not even giving what it was supposed to have gave.
Yeah.
It's not going to be what you want it to be. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be that.
I'm not even joking, y'all, because I started looking at him like, girl, what you about to say to this? When the therapist was like, because he's like, the dog is, this and that. She said, well, why do you have to be this dog's dad? If she had a kid.
If it was a child from a previous marriage, I said, get him
together.
Okay, now that's how you clear him.
I loved it. Child clearance on aisle 4. I loved it. Clear him out because he don't listen to nobody. He always think he right. And he said,
he had nothing to say.
I hadn't thought about it like that. He had nothing to say. I said, now take your ugly face on home, squirrel. Just go ahead on home. I can't stand that, Erik.
When I
really
said I
can't
was
stand
so
it.
excited about that, I
Can't
was
stand
so
it.
excited about it. She had the perfect words to say, and I said, "The
Trey,
girl."
now Trey is sleeping here. He is determined to parent something, okay? And that wife don't listen, so now he got to have a child.
Oh,
And neither do that dog.
I love that segment so much. Okay,
It was I love to see it.
Ooh.
Let me see, because I wrote that down in my notes.
Yeah, I loved it so much when she was like, "So, like, why you so pressed?
Why are you so pressed?" But this is what I'm talking about earlier with that being able to compromise. You have to give things up sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And what he's not giving up is like he has control.
His ideals.
Just like Brianna, right? Like your ideal, your vision of what things have to be like, you have to let that go and surrender that, right? Because that's gonna mess you up every time. As soon as something doesn't fit into your paradigm, it's now it's an ultimatum, which brings me to my next point of him saying ultimatum. Oh my God, that's such a terrible word. And I thought, wow, that's a
It just
terrible
sounds
thing
crazy
to
because that's all
do.
you do.
But it's a terrible thing to do. And like you don't recognize that like it's toxic for you to constantly present her with ultimatums. But once she uses the word ultimatum, and he's like, I don't mean it like that. I just mean it's a deal breaker. Okay. Alex, synonyms for 2000.
Yeah, is it a deal or is it not a deal?
Is it a deal breaker or is it an ultimate? I mean, like, what is you stupid? You finished or you done? These are the same thing.
The same thing. The same thing.
That's the same thing.
Oh. You hate to see it. I love to see it. I love to. The episode was good for me to watch him get his, and when everybody got him together. And I loved him. I
did love that. I did love that. I do want to give an honorable mention to Virginia's sister, who was concerned about her children going outside with that man for 20 seconds max, and then was over it.
Let's be clear, y'all. If I ever was sitting down having a conversation with BB, okay, and she got her part, just her husband now, and I'm like, well, is it safe to have my children out there? If she paused for 1 second, girl, I give my kids.
1 second. She said.
If she paused for 1 second, give me my children. She's like, well, and her sister was like, so how you doing? Girl, no concern. Girl,
right, she said, okay. I felt she looked at production like, can somebody go out there, please?
Somebody go take them. Girl, she was like, I have those kids. So, how your husband? So who's your? Oh, now I'm excited. Who's number 2? And couple number 2, because when we did 3 couples so far, right? Yeah, Brianna, Vincent.
Yeah. So I just want to add one more thing that Virginia. Okay, this is the episode that solidified for me that Virginia does have an alcohol addiction. Before I thought she was a good time. When he said to her, "I think we should, just try to scale back on the drinking, like especially when we have to have like talks,
so
we can like really like soberly speak to one another." And she was like, "I'm not talking about that," and then was kind of in tears. Oh, ma'am, you need to see your therapist. Call them, and you need to do a 911 appointment.
I love a cocktail, and I was saying that to you, man. I was like, you know what? Nobody's ever told me. Let's talk. It's hindering us communicating and talk about stuff. He's like,
but I think for them, if it is, then that's a real. But it could be. It's different from situation to situation, right? Yeah. Like that's wild. Okay,
because I would have been like, so basically, what you're saying to me is that no, I need to put an IV in you, and then we can have a conversation. That's the only way. Girl, she started. The connection's so strong. The thing that she loves her friends. When she said, you gotta talk to me early in advance because I schedule. I have to schedule
her social calendar.
How did you feel about that? I meant to ask you that.
You know what I think is fun? My husband's like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, oh, I'm not going to spend time with you, but he's more of a planner for like social things than I am. And he'll
We're
like,
similar today, yeah.
yeah, he like decides what he wants to do. And I like just try not to take offense to that. But it's not constant though. It's not like constant stuff. And it's not like constant things that don't involve me.
Yeah.
But he's very like, I don't know, like especially like pre-corona, very cool, like knew where the cool DJs were playing and this pop-up was happening and this
Now he
like
love a
beach
DJ.
brunch, like so he's gonna be like, all right, I got us tickets to go to this thing on Saturday and we're going to this pop-up on Sunday, whatever. And I'm just like, I'm rolling, right?
Yeah.
But I don't have like a social calendar like that unless one of my friends is like throwing something and I'm like, oh, we have to go over to so-and-so's house for dinner.
Yeah, and then mine too, because I just randomly texted you today.
Yeah, like, oh,
yeah,
they barbecuing. You want to go over there. And the thing is, like, you have to adjust. So, like, sometimes if you text me out the blue and you're like, I'm barbecuing today, most of the time I'm like, okay, I'll come over.
Yeah.
Sometimes my husband's like, okay, cool, I'll go over there. Other times he already has a plan for his day and he does not want to do that.
Yeah.
Right? So then he's like, you go have fun, bring me a plate. The food be good.
Because you always be there. Sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not.
Sometimes he comes and sometimes he doesn't. I don't take offense to that, right? Because like he's not a last minute go somewhere. That's just like not his style. Me and you,
that's
pulling stuff out our ass all the time, right? And so like I'm not annoyed by an invitation that says like I'm grilling right now. You want to come over? I ain't doing nothing. But if he's thought about what he wanted to do, then he just doesn't go, and I don't have to be upset about that. Yeah. I think again for both of them there's some compromise to be had, but I
don't like the way he says it to her.
I don't like the way he said it to her, and I think at this point they are doing this thing where they're like, well, we get along so well and we don't fight about little things, which is like, I mean, sure, I guess, but literally the fundamental stuff that y'all care about, y'all disagree on. Yeah. Y'all disagree fundamentally on politics, right? Which is a big deal. Even if y'all can avoid talking about it, it's going to deeply inform what you teach your children about the world. So then y'all going to be in there fighting because daddy's a racist. Two, y'all can't get on the same page with like going out. Like if he just don't want to do nothing,
right?
Erik don't want to do nothing. Like they're just not the same speed, and it's not even like my husband likes to go out more than I like to go out. Mm-hmm. I am fine, but I'm not never mad that he want to go out. I'm glad that he doesn't expect me to join him. I don't want to go, right? Yeah. I go a lot of the time, but sometimes I don't have it.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't want to go. And nobody's mad. I put on my pajamas. I get under my blanket on the couch. I kiss him. I ask him, maybe if they have wings, bring me some hot. Okay. Make sure you look at the dessert menu. He says no. Okay. But I'm like, bring me a snack.
Right? Don't come over empty-handed.
He don't have to feel guilty. Yeah. Right. Like he wanted to go. I'm not mad. I don't act like snippy when he get back. Right. Yeah. Like I'm not mad. There's no animosity around it. Yeah. And that's where they don't have like the understanding, but it's not so much that I feel like, well, he wants to go out every night of the week and I don't want to go out. Like we're on the same page most of the time. It's occasionally like I want to go over to your house and he's like, I don't feel like doing all of that. To me, that's the same thing as him being like, I want to go to the casino and like have a drink and play some games. And I'm like, I don't like the casino. I don't want to go.
Yeah.
Have fun. I'm not mad. I just don't want to go.
Yeah.
But they have to, I think at some point, Virginia and Erik have to be realistic about how different they are. They have some like major differences that like they're trying to like gently, these are big deals. Like y'all don't live the same way at all. Y'all struggle to talk to each other about these things, right? Like Erik needs like a more subservient woman who's very like home
for sure,
and that's fine. Yes. Right? Like that's fine. It would honestly, like he wouldn't have to try so hard to control if he was with somebody who was more like his speed and had the same values.
I think she could be that.
Virginia don't want to be that.
I feel like she could do that. I feel like he wanted today.
No, so I don't think Virginia's gonna be that. I don't think she's going to be that. I used to think that there was compromise to be had on that, but I think even Virginia as a mom, Virginia about to have a stroller out at that festival. We going out. We having a good time. Like, nothing like
I
us.
can
But
see that.
Virginia going to be the person pushing a stroller with a froze.
I can see that.
I can see that. And he's like, I want to have our kid's birthday party in the backyard, and there's going to be a clown.
Yeah.
I want to get our daughter a goldfish for her, right? Like he's trying to live a different life than her, I think. And
that's true.
I feel like she's always going to want to have some fun for herself, even as a parent and even as a married person. And I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I can see that.
I think he's bringing her down.
Oh, there's one person I feel like is bringing down, and I don't like to watch this anymore either. It's to talk about this couple. Who's your next one?
So I literally didn't write down anything about Jacob and Haley.
You know what, Jacob and Haley?
I like that Jacob.
Girl, you know I
like him, and I'm tired of that Haley.
It's a toss up for me. So what I already love Jacob, and I love Jacob more during this episode where it's just like, do you think you could continue to? I think in the heart of heart, Jacob still wants to do this. Like, it's so hard to watch. It's so sad to see because I was watching the Unfiltered Married at First Sight. You watch the Unfiltered?
Not all the time.
Girl, I love it. So I was watching Unfiltered.
It is cute, but I always forget it's coming on.
On the last episode, they went go-kart driving, right? Yep, she won and all of that stuff because he like hit something or whatever. And she was so excited. But then watching the episode, he was like, what frustrates me is that, or maybe this was another episode, we would do these dates, and then as soon as the cameras go off, she gone. Like she leaves. So she come here to film, and then she gone. And it's like, Haley. Yes. So I'm trying to make this connection with her, and I'm trying to do it, and we act like we try to catch some stuff, but we film the scene, and then she goes. And I feel bad because I feel like he truly is trying. And I see some sort of trying with her.
I don't see her trying.
She's
and I'm glad
doing
that they
the minimally she could do.
That they see that he's making the changes, and they say, well, what have you done differently? And get her together. Gather this girl right up. Gather
but you know
her.
What she does? She used her white woman's tears. Oh, no.
Child.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, excuse me. Girl, what you crying about?
The crying.
What you crying about?
We don't need it at all. I don't want any of that.
It's a failure. Girl.
I hate it.
You have failed at trying. Now
you failed at the effort. You get an F for effort.
Yeah. Now I want to say you bought some clothes, and good for you. Okay. I can't deal with this whole I'm asleep with you, but I don't like what you look. I'm not attracted to you. I can't get with it. I don't like it. I didn't like it when Chris did it. And I don't like the fact that she's sitting here. Now we on our honeymoon. I'm asleep with you. And now it's like, oh, there's no attraction there. I don't get it. Now I will say, I gotta be honest. Now Haley, her confessional today. In that confessional last night.
You look good.
The girl looked at that was a look.
I mean, but it took us some months.
Yeah.
To pull off a viable look.
Haley did go through the next time. The girl was
She did, but so did Jacob. Leveled up and gave us that beard. We said, now, are we mad about Jacob's beard? Absolutely not.
Jacob looked like this in the eyes.
Been doing his push-ups. Amen.
I said, what? Tell us how you feel about everything, Jacob. Don't go to nobody else. But I think that my frustration, it's a toss-up because when the spirituality or the tarot card thing came up and she's so excited, and does it normally happen like that? Do the lines, do the past normally come together? No, they don't. Girl, like this is your man. Unfortunately, this is your man. You trying so hard to resist it. And I feel like they complement each other well. I don't want him to have to go through the emotional pain that Haley puts him through. And I don't want her to have to feel like, I hate people who are in a relationship and it's just like, you had to open the door for someone, and I was like, oh my God, I did so much. Haley will sit down with a dinner with you, and now she like, I'm trying everything I could.
Yeah.
And
no, from some of her commentary, we could see why she ain't had a man in 7 years. It's all making sense. It's all making sense. Man, you sound like a nut.
So it's frustrating. They're not even trying what the therapist or the counselor say, because now we're not even kissing in the morning. I can't believe you when you say you're trying everything, when now you're giving tips and tricks.
That they told us to do.
Yeah,
you're not trying everything. You're not trying the stuff that's what's on the list.
I can't get with it. But
you
when you tell her
that, you can't hug me. My thing is also stop playing with this man, because people have feelings. Like, you're on a show and all of that, but like, stop playing with this man. Stop playing with this man. If you're not interested and you don't think you can bring yourself to do it, then say that.
Yeah.
But like,
because Jacob will.
And he will. Okay? But that's how people get complexes about, because then you in the background, your wheels are churning, trying to figure out, well, what did I do wrong? What did I blah, 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 right? And then you start to associate that stuff with your own behavior and all of that, which I feel like is so unnecessary. Like, that's a nasty, like, byproduct of people not communicating. Say what you need to say and be aware. So Haley also struggles. I think she's not very like emotionally aware for her own self.
That's probably why it's so
it's hard for her to open up.
She cries.
Doing so much.
It's so hard. It's so hard for her because she hasn't been emotionally available to anyone and open up about it.
Yeah. So she doesn't know how to, like, she's not open and then thinks he's not open. But I'm like, you're a rock and he's a rock. But he's actually a rock that's willing to open. Now he needs some communications trainings.
Well, he's a rock that says I'm a rock, but then also there's a lot of jokes about him being an animal. Like, it's like, you got to pick one thing here, Jacob. And she doesn't know where to go with being a rock, but she knows that she's successful at being this rock. And what's her concern about the last 10 years?
It's not going good.
What's her concern about the last 10 years?
I think what she was trying to do is like understand his life. Like, what have you been doing with yourself? I think that's an important question. Yeah. I think him saying,
well, his answer was so deep, and it hurt. I think it was like,
at first he didn't have an answer. And then when he said, "Yeah, my friends all started getting married and having kids, and I was like looking for my partner," and she was like, "Oh, that's really helpful, right?" So I think for him, I have the same communication problem with my husband, right? Like, I ask a question, he thinks that like he's so small, like, he's just like yes or no, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, that color helps me understand what's going on here, because that yes or no wasn't helpful. I don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't help me at all. But he has to get that. But that comes with like, we married and we still work on that, right? Like, you have to give people space and like time to grow. But I think Jacob, it's very clear that like, if you want him to do something, he will do it.
He sure will.
He gonna try.
That's the problem there.
Like, she really is wasting
100%.
Because this man put a beach in the bed. Do you know how you could run him? Be sweet to this man. He gonna do whatever you want, and he gonna build a bomb swing set for your kids in the backyard. Carrying lumber around, girl. He'll build you a sauna in the basement. She fumbling a bag on this man.
That's what I've been thinking. I was like, yo, she's too, because when she was talking to the counselor, she's like, he's so successful. If you need him, he'll be right there. He'll do what you need. And I'm thinking, and y'all stupid. And
you dummy.
And you want to be like, but there's nothing, girl. You only get minimal ties like this, girl. You better hold on.
They're not out here acting like that.
Niggas not shit, girl. You better. Now you got someone who would just be like, first of all, he only eat one thing. He don't even need a lot of stuff.
He only eat one thing.
But you can have whatever you want. Like, you can have whatever you want. But he only need one thing. He ate a pound of meat one time just by girl, but you can have whatever you want. He'll change the clothes for you. He'll do whatever you need.
You don't like the wood panel walls. You just ask him, like, can we remodel this room? He gonna say yes. He gonna say yes, girl. He gonna give it to you. She fumbled a bag. I need us to go to Ryan and Clara so we can wrap this on up, because I gotta eat dinner.
Let's go to the no sex crew. Let's go to the abstinence crew.
So when they in the counseling talking about this connection that they have, they both talking about we're immediately so deeply connected. I don't see it. For me, I don't see it. I don't see it. Them acting like this sexless marriage is going great is really weird for me. It makes me deeply uncomfortable. The way that Ryan's face dropped when Dr. Pepper called out intercourse.
He'll be like,
intercourse. Shook it.
Okay, sure.
Still, to my recollection, did not ask Clara how she felt about them waiting.
Girl, that made me the most
I don't like that.
How do you think she feels? Well, maybe I should
ask that, but then didn't go back and ask.
You peeped, right?
And I didn't appreciate that. But then, see, this is the brainwashing. Clara gets in this session talking about, I can't imagine anything being better. Sis, that's because you're too busy imagining that dick. That's where your imagination is. You can't imagine a man being nice to you and having sex with you? Wow.
That's a problem.
Wow.
And if it's as big as the booty.
Even if it's a thimble, he ain't trying to put that thing in there.
That's true. I mean,
I don't like that.
She knows what it looks like because she been doing. That's probably what she
knows what it's like. Okay, so it's giving Luke and Kate from, I think that was Philly, where he was sleeping with her and telling her she couldn't tell nobody. It was very emotionally abusive. I did not like. Oh, you gotta go watch that season. She on here giggling like shit is sweet. I don't like that. Like, this is not funny. You're downplaying how much this is affecting you, because when you got around your girlfriends, you had a lot to say.
She should not.
But then you get in here and it's like, yeah, we're taking things slow. We're taking things slow. Are you 14?
I think she's similar to me, and Taylor Bay used to say this, like, sometimes you talk too highly of, you know, the things I do and how the relationship is, and not necessarily it. It frustrates me. But it's like, I don't want the girls out here to think that you're a bad boyfriend. So I'm about to be like, oh, a 10s across the board, okay? And he bought me a new car today, but I had to give it away. So, like, and I think that, well, now we don't do that, but I feel like that's where Clara is. And just to help get her some D. Like, maybe he'll start to appreciate it and say, you know, I thank you for that.
I don't like it.
I don't know. I don't like it either.
I don't like this
that's
for
what
her.
She is.
I don't like this for her. I see her like losing herself.
You remember when she first started the show?
She used to be fun and had a personality.
Fun, lively, talkative, everyone.
But this is what like a man will do that. Just suck it right out.
Girl, she looked, y'all, and I'm not fat shaming. She looked, her face was wide. She looked scruggly when she was talking to them, and she looked like
probably eating her feelings, and it's happened to the best of us, honey.
She looked like this, and I was like, this not. If anybody has changed, it's Clara, and I don't like seeing my girl like this. And I loved her at the beginning. I don't like seeing my girl. Now it's just like, I don't feel like I'm appreciated. I don't feel like we don't even get her talking and invested anymore. Now it's just like
she said, but she also feels pressure to make it seem like she's not sad and like they're doing fine. That's not true. Yeah. And that's the part that I don't like for her.
I hate it.
I hate that for her.
When they got together, he was like, because he said what the counselor said, but he didn't answer the question. So they said that you got to say something about sex. Yes. But you know, the more we ask, the more it pushes you away. So
and she laughed through that. That's toxic.
And then he started to project his feelings.
Like everything you do can't be like for his emotional benefit. No. She's losing herself, and I hate to see it. I hate to see it.
I hate it so much. I everything about their scene, it was because I felt like this was something that was great, and I loved Clara. Like, I felt emotions for Clara because we saw her a lot, and we got a chance to know her. This is not it, sis. And at the end of even them talking, it was like I turned to Taylor Bay and I was like, he never even got her feelings. Now we know more invested into, well, you know how I feel about, because she's like, well, the more I talk about it, the more it pushes away. And he's like, well, I just feel about the emotional thing and this and that. You were supposed to ask how she feels about it. And we never got that. You projected more of your feelings. And then she asked, well, is it ever going to happen? I'm not going to say never. What is going on? Girl, stop touching his peen. You go on strike 2. What is it? Chirac. You go on strike 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like it. And I think the difference though, because I see this comment, the couple last season that took a long time to have sex, that was Karen and Miles on that New Orleans season. But Miles was very vocal about how like not having sex and Karen feeling like closed off was impacting him. And they had very honest conversations about that. And I think Miles still tried to physically respect Karen's boundaries, but was clear about how that was impacting him and how it made him feel like unloved and unwanted and blah, blah, blah. But I don't, and I to this day am surprised that they made it, because I was watching this shit like, I'm tired of her, right? Like, it was too much for me. Like, ma'am, don't come on this show if you don't like nobody touching you for the first 6 months that you know them. This is not the show for you.
It's not the show. You got a husband.
We don't want to see it. Yes. We don't want to see it. Okay, yeah. Go to church and find a man at the Bible study and do. Okay, and that's fine. But we don't want to watch this. They did end up making it, but I think it was very important that, like, because Karen seemed to be like prioritizing her feelings, and as Miles was more vocal about his feelings, I think she started to open up more, and they like were on the same page. The thing that I don't see with Clara and Ryan is that Clara is like defaulting to Ryan's emotions and prioritizing his emotions. And that's an issue because she's not speaking up for herself. She's not talking about so like depressed. How things, sis is depressed. Yeah. And that's not going to get her anywhere. Like Miles and Karen had to struggle through it, but they like, if you watch that season, like Miles didn't like let up on like, no, I think you went too far. Like, that's an odd boundary. That's too far, right? Like, and he was like patient with her, but he spoke up for himself. Yeah. This is going in a toxic direction, in my opinion.
She needs to just start saying, "Look, I want the D, and I feel unwanted. I feel unloved. I feel on any of the stuff. On top of that, he's not gonna give you no sense, and then he's gonna act like, not saying I love you as a prize. So it's just like justice for Clara.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm not interested in that.
Justice for Clara.
Just now, if we're gonna mount a campaign.
Justice for Clara. Oh, I've seen this lady change from episode 1 to when she was bubbly, happy, lively. She cried. She got gifts from all the girls for the bachelorette party. She got him a gift. She wrote all of that. And now she's sitting here. Y'all, I'm telling you, she done gained tons of pounds. Now she not even trying. She done put up. She said, look, just are we gonna get it or not? Okay, well, I'll see you later. And I don't like to see my good sis like this. I love me some Clara, and she deserves more.
This has been a lot of us. Like, I'm looking at this comment that like women with no self-esteem prioritize to the male's emotions and needs. And sometimes it's a woman with no self-esteem, but I've absolutely done this. And I don't have no self-esteem issues. I love myself and feel myself.
You a bad bitch.
Okay, I'm a bad bitch and my friend's bad too. Got the swag on, okay, all day. Been that bitch's pajamas with footies.
Okay, came out being a bitch.
Came out. Okay,
I was being pushed up and I said, pause. You give birth to a bad bitch here. Okay, continue.
No, but it can come from a lot of different places. Trying to be understand, like the trying too hard and like struggling with boundaries. I used to struggle really hard with like emotional boundaries. And I prioritize other people's, especially like my partner's emotions over mine. Because I wanted to I didn't want to seem like crass and a lot of time I disagree with how they felt, but I didn't want to be like the mean one who was like shooting down their emotions. And meanwhile, like I was being taken advantage of because they didn't really care for my emotions. But it took me a long time to like notice that pattern in my behavior that I like take on other people's emotional load. And I continue to struggle with that. Like, my husband is upset about something. I often like become upset because he's upset. And now I realize like I don't have to be upset too, right? Because for him, he's upset for like 5 minutes and it'll pass. And I'm walking around like
ready to shoot somebody.
Yeah. And it's not like I don't have to take that on. I can empathize with him and tell him like, you know, let me know if I can support you in any way. And then I can be done with that. I don't have to carry that with me. But that took me a long time and some therapy to let that go.
I'm just getting to that process.
Self-esteem. Sometimes just like our emotional bonds and like we don't always see it. Like I would dare say that in this moment, Clara is not viewing like how we're dissecting this. This is not how it feels to her in the moment. She feels like she's trying to be on one accord with her husband. She's just trying to be in line. Like if this is what he thinks is best, then I want to respect that. And we standing on the outside like, no, sis, that's not what that is.
Girl, stop respecting him. Girl, respect yourself too.
We're not in it. We're not in it. And that's the hard part. And I don't think that we're wrong. Yeah. But it feels different when you're in the throes of it.
That's true. Yo, this was an amazing episode. We went almost 2 hours. I know you got to eat. I got to eat too. So I'm not going to keep you on for long. Yo, thank you everybody for being here, for commenting. We really appreciate all of y'all. If you want to know more about me and everything that I'm going on, you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter, BusyBlu, no space, no E. You can also find me on Facebook, The BusyBlu, where you get nothing special at all. BB, tell them where they can find you.
Nobody puts BB in a corner on YouTube and on Instagram, and I am on the Twitter on Wednesday nights live tweeting Married at First Sight. I've been getting lots of retweets lately, so I'm kind of Twitter famous, but only on Wednesdays because I don't really tweet any other time. At BB, and I think there's 5 O's.
Yeah,
but you can definitely find me like through Busy's page.
Yeah, there are 5, and I'm gonna put it on Twitter, and we're gonna retweet that if it's not live already on Twitter. So we will talk to you all later. See you all. Bye.
Bye.